This is a WMUR Commitment Special, Conversation with the Community. And now, Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Hello and welcome to our Conversation with the Community series. I'm Adam Sexton. Our guest is Democrat Maggie Goodlander, who represents New Hampshire's 2nd Congressional District. We'll be hearing today about where she stands on key issues. At the start of our show, I'll be asking the candidates some questions, and then after a break, we'll have our studio audience ask their questions in a town hall format. But before we begin with that, let's take a quick look at what the Congresswoman has been working on. She was elected to Congress for the first time in November. Since then, the Naval Reserve veteran and former White House advisor has been focused on fighting federal spending cuts made by DOJ and standing up against proposed funding reductions in President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. She's also been focused on veterans issues, from expanding VA services to launching the first Democratic Veterans Caucus on Capitol Hill. Congresswoman Goodlander, thank you for joining us on Conversation with the Community. Thanks for being in.
Thanks so much for having me, Adam.
So at the time we're recording this, the U.S. is not directly involved in the war between Israel and Iran. But is preventing Iran from gaining a nuclear weapon worth escalating American involvement?
Adam, here's what I'd say. The situation is unfolding as we speak now, and I'm closely monitoring it because there is no higher priority for me in this job than the national security and the economic security of the people of New Hampshire. And what I'd say is there's a longstanding sense, I think, that spans the ideological spectrum, and understanding that Iran poses a real threat to the United States of America, to our allies in the Middle East, and that we should prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. This is in the national security interest of the United States. Now, what we're seeing unfold right now is concerning to me because we have American troops, American citizens, and American diplomats who may well be in harm's way, and it should be the highest priority of anybody who takes an oath to our Constitution to protect and defend the American people. And I'm very concerned about the risks that are being posed to innocent civilians in the region, to American troops, and to American diplomats. And I'm urging President Trump to make sure that he prioritizes the safety of our people. I'm also concerned that we could get dragged into a third regional war in the Middle East. It would be the third war in the last 3 decades. And my view is that when the president exercises his authority under the Constitution as commander-in-chief and takes military action, that's not an immediate response to an imminent threat, but that could escalate into an enduring conflict, a war in a region, he is best positioned to have the consent and support and a check of the United States Congress.
Quite a lot going on abroad. Here on the home front, for Democrats, a lot of this is about opposing President Trump and his policies. Do you think, as a member of Congress at this time, even just 5 months into this administration, has the president committed an impeachable offense?
You know, Adam, I have taught constitutional law here at UNH Law School and at Dartmouth. I have participated in enforcing our Constitution, including serving as a lawyer in the first impeachment of President Trump. You know, our Constitution sets out a standard that we looked at exhaustively, but any case of impeachment requires a careful look at the facts and at the law. And what I'd say is we have never seen a United States president carry out the duties, the solemn duties of that role in the way that we are seeing President Trump behave. We're seeing deep threats to our rule of law, to our system of checks and balances, and honestly to the core functions of government. And what I'm trying to do every single day in Congress is to fight for the people of New Hampshire and for the Constitution that I took an oath to uphold and defend.
Do you think he has committed an impeachable offense, though, yes or no?
Adam, impeachment right now is not my focus. My focus is the people of New Hampshire and how we can lower costs, which have never been higher and which are escalating even higher because of the trade wars that the president has undertaken. I'm focused on protecting our homeland and our people, and that is what my focus is. Right now, that is what I am laser focused on.
All right, thank you, Congresswoman. Let's take this over to the town hall. Coming up after our break, we'll bring our studio audience into the conversation. Stay with us.